yo, yo, yo.
Yeah.
What up, people? I'm Robert Glasper.
Jahi Sundance.
And this is the Black Radio Backstage.
BRB.
B-Aura-B.
B-Aura?
Aura. Yeah, like my dad says, Aura. That's how brothers down south say it.
Okay, Burb.
You ain't got that soulful-ass uncle that say that? Aura.
I actually do.
Come on, you got one.
I have an uncle named. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Arathiatha.
Whoa!
Arathiatha.
Wait, that's a real name?
That's a name of a member of my family.
That's amazing. Arathiatha.
Arathiatha.
That sounds like an obscure album. Killing.
Who we got with us today?
Today, we got our brother.
Yes.
He is a musical icon, a musical genius, somebody that is one of the leading voices on his instrument and just in music, period. And his thought process, his way of being, his way of playing, his way of just moving throughout this musical industry. He's carved out this lane that no one's in.
Facts. A fashion master.
Absolutely. All the things. He goes by the name of Thundercat. Thundercat, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Hey.
You came in with the dove's cry.
What's up, Ja?
What up?
Oh, yeah. Now
you're in there.
Now we in there. For sure. What's good, brother?
Man, this mic is trippy.
You know what I mean? It's an LPQR
Somebody
7200.
was eating.
You know what I'm saying?
Somebody on here was eating something then. Left me a little treat for halfway through the interview. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Man, good to have you on here, bro.
Well, thank you. Happy to be here.
I feel like you don't do a lot of interviews.
I don't usually have my chest out either. That's
Is that for us?
This is
Did you do it
crazy.
for us?
For the homies.
I feel special. We special.
Chest out for the homies.
Chest out for the homies.
You going out tonight? Yeah, I'm going to put my chest out for the homies.
You know what it is. You know
when
what
the chest is out, we in Isley's mode.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's only one other chest out moment. What was that? Where were we at? We were in New York. Me, you, Dave, bro, chest out.
Oh my God, that was shirts off completely.
Shirts off.
all
That was
three
me,
y'all had
you,
y'all shirts off.
Wildin'.
Me,
I
you,
was
Dave,
there.
and Zoe.
Zoe was there.
Yeah. But
I don't know
yeah,
if she was blushing as compared to laughing, but it was still like, in our minds, we was like, it's on.
We
like,
out here. Absolutely.
Jodeci.
Let's
It was,
go.
You know,
Let's go.
Vibes.
Y'all was all about to sing lead.
Yeah, we was all Casey.
3 lead
For sure.
singers.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Oh man. Yo, how did we meet? Do you remember how we met?
I thought about it. This is the best part of moments like this, bro. We'll be so lit. We would just. It's almost like like when you respawn in Call of Duty. It's just like niggas would just respawn in front of each other. But hey, all right.
Haven't seen you in 5 minutes or 2 hours.
Yeah, I can't tell.
Don't know.
Bro, I thought it's been on my mind. I remember the us hanging. I don't know if it was either I gotta say it was either because of Chris or because of Meg. It was one of the two.
I think we met. No, we definitely met before Meg.
That's what I'm saying. Like I can't even.
I feel like it wasn't okay. Did we know each other already when we did the Sarai hit?
Was it the Sarai gig?
It's possible.
I think it's the Sarai gig.
It's the amount of
What year was Sarai gig?
1870. Wait, what year was that? This is good music, Sarai.
For y'all who don't know, so we did a gig with Sarai. It was Thundercat, myself, Jahi, Chris Dave on drums.
Ty Dolla $ign singing background.
Ty Dolla $ign singing background.
Shout out to Reese, Rozzy Day.
Reese, Rozzy was singing background.
Taz, Shafiq, Omas.
In New York.
Reese, Ty.
In New York. At the was that Canal Room?
It was Canal Room.
Canal Room.
Canal Room.
Talk
I feel
about
like
alcohol.
that's when y'all met. I feel like
that makes sense to me. That feels like early.
This is definitely alcohol.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that was the get lit period. That was a lit
And
time.
finished the whole bottle in 2 red cups.
Absolutely.
It was a very lit era. And it's an era of being lit.
Oh my
Absolutely.
God.
But,
oh my God. Finished the whole bottle in 2 red cups. Is a
So
whole
that
nother-
was, I mean, I'm going to take this credit now. That was me
That was you.
who built that bridge.
Okay, there you go.
Because the Sarah dudes were like, we need cats to do this band. And they were like, Jahi, you know
Good
the cats. And I was like, I
God.
do.
Right.
And
Good
their
God.
names are Chris and Robert.
There you go.
And they were like, okay, word. And then I called y'all and I was like, there's this band I'm sure you never heard of, but these motherfuckers are so dope.
All you have to do is send me rosebuds. I'm in.
Oh my God.
And I sent you a few joints
Yep.
and I sent Chris a few joints and y'all were both like,
I'm sure it was rosebuds.
We
That's
ready.
probably the first one I heard.
Yeah.
Saw Rock Creative
they were
Partners.
like, we
bro.
ready. Shout out to Sarah.
Absolutely.
Forever.
Yeah,
we are all
absolutely.
children of Saw
For sure. Definitely.
Man.
So question. Did you start off with jazz first? Did you start off with like what was your
Right.
like give me like
The beginnings.
the beginnings. I heard you were or are still or were or still in between, whatever. A dope artist.
Oh yeah, no,
Anime.
Yeah, no, I don't lead with that so much, but that's
Right.
anytime somebody ever wonders why it's a little bit too slapstick on this side of the fence, it's I've been drawing or illustrating just as long as I've been playing bass, if not longer. I mean, you know, because we all do that thing where we like fart with crayons and put them in our nose and
I
stuff.
thought I was gonna be an artist.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I feel like it goes hand in hand with a lot of creatives. It's like there's a part where it's like you just have a pool of what you are, and you're a natural affinity, or you have gravitational pull to stuff, and there's just how it translates over time is based on how it's fed.
Mhm.
But for me, illustration, I even wanted to go to Fairfax High because Todd McFarlane and the guys were like, well, they went to Fairfax. Well, Todd McFarlane's from Jersey, but like, it was like Fairfax was where you would go if you wanted to be an illustrator.
Gotcha.
Right.
And I was like this, you couldn't tell me anything. I was like, I'm going to Fairfax. And then it was immediate understanding of Reggie Andrews. That was like, my dad was like, yeah, you're going to Locke High School.
Second person to say his name.
Really?
Mr.
on the
Andrews.
Terrace
T said his name.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right.
Well, where did Terrace go? I saw him
He was somewhere around
pop
here.
locking outside. Man, no, but like, yeah, it was that. So like, I do illustrate, and I'm very snobby about my illustration. As anytime somebody goes, what'd you think about this? It'd be like this. It wasn't hand drawn.
Right.
It's like, oh, it's CG. And I'm like, well, you know, I like my illustrators. I like my cartoons to where the illustrators or the animators are depressed at the end of it. Like, if you ain't halfway die making the cartoon, I don't believe you. If you didn't need therapy on entrance and exit of the cartoon process, it's not, it ain't it.
Right.
But the beginnings for me with the music, it's kind of like rooted in both. Like me and my family, my parents raised us at Crenshaw Christian Center under Fred Price, and they were the first musicians at Crenshaw Christian Center before it was on Vermont, when it was actually on Crenshaw.
Mm.
And my parents were the original musicians from the original Christian Center. And when it moved to Vermont, you know, again, before I was born, I've always heard stories and stuff. You know, again, it's like family. Interestingly enough, it was just like immediately passed down in that respect. It was like, you know, I started out playing in church at the same time, though, where our father, who had known Reggie before we were born, you know, worked around LA with him, done stuff. I don't think Reggie went to Centennial. If he did, I think no, Reggie didn't go to Centennial. I had to ask my dad. I forget, but it's like they knew each other very well. And I think that I have a picture. There's a picture I posted on my Instagram of my dad and Reggie before we were even born, where it was like, I forget, my dad told me who the kids they were holding were, but they were at like some Christmas party or something. This was before Ronald was born, like 1980, 1979, 81 or something like that. And he, I think that my dad always said, he said to me that before we were born, it was kind of agreed upon that, like, you know, and I think this is kind of how a few of us in LA were raised. It's like when you have kids, send them over to Reggie Andrews or Fernando Pullum. Doesn't matter. Send them over to Reggie. You know, send them to Ricky Washington. You know, these were the teachers. These are, you know, and Reggie. Everybody knew Reggie. You know, Mr. Andrews to me. I could never call him Reggie.
Right.
You know, I feel disrespectful as hell saying that right now.
Right.
But yeah, it's kind of rooted with one foot in jazz and then one foot in church.
Gotcha.
It very strong roots in both.
Gotcha.
We would be at a multi-school jazz band every week practicing tunes.
Mhm.
And we'd have gigs on the weekends, and he again, Reggie's stretch in realization of the way it moved in LA as a result of Reggie being an entity was everything from playing with Billy Higgins to Horace Tapscott when we were kids, and Gerald Wilson and everything in between to that.
Mhm.
Understanding the Black experience of jazz was really like serious for us growing up.
Yeah.
Just as serious as church was.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like it's not really one without the other for me and Ronald and Jamil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you and Ronald were always a package deal. Were y'all always doing gigs with each other around the city? Like it was like, hey,
It was, it's always about the way it panned out. We would be together in a lot of things, but not through everything. So like Kamasi, a lot of us met at Multi-School Jazz Band. And, but I think my dad and Ricky Washington went to high school.
Mhm.
He went to Centennial along with like a couple other musicians from LA that, and they used to have a band together. They used to hang out all the time. So when they saw that we played, it was like, go ahead and leave them at your house.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear nothing. I'm just leaving them at your house. I'm dropping Kamasi off, or you drop them off over there. It don't matter. And we would spend the whole of our existence was playing.
Yeah.
Kamasi would be writing tunes. Like I always say this, Kamasi could have been a physicist.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's how high his GPA was. He was really well versed in like comprehension of just about every aspect of scholastic, and music was just like right hand in hand with it. Like,
Right.
So out the gate, man, this Kamasi was on some Coltrane. Charlie Parker was already there.
Right.
We were playing jazz awards festivals, playing at the Playboy Jazz Festival. There's footage of us like Mr. Graves, who was Cameron and Taylor's father.
Mhm.
We would be doing gigs and just be hanging out outside the Hollywood Bowl playing original tunes.
Mhm.
Like 14, 15, 16, and then yeah, so it's kind of like it was always kind of one foot in both worlds.
Mhm.
Yeah. Always making original tunes, going out on the weekends, playing with Mr. Andrews, then play at Bible study, then play, sometimes play with the youth choir, sometimes play with the adult choir, sometimes
Right.
play praise and worship for the Tuesday night Bible then you got rehearsal. And we going to Kamasi's and we rehearsing all week. And we
Yeah.
learning new tunes,
Yeah.
and just that was life. That was consistent flowing life for us.
Mhm.
So yeah, just not one without the other.
Did you go to college?
No, I was the one. Everybody else went. I didn't go to college. I played Resident Evil. No, I always felt like I wasn't invited. Nobody sent me.
Nobody sent you an invite to college?
No, it was just like, I was like, am I not good? It was like, we want to pay for your scholarship. I was like, hear that with my friends all the time. And I was
Right.
like, man, that's crazy. Sounds great.
You
Where
have
y'all
to-
keep
you-
going every day?
You have to
Yeah.
fill out forms for them to know.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I would like to, like all my friends like Terrace and Ronald went to Cal Arts,
Right. When did you first start writing? Like, when did you first start thinking, like, okay, I can be an artist, my own thing? Like, was it writing tunes early on? Or, when did you start writing tunes and then becoming you, if you will?
That's an interesting dynamic because there's the part where, again, like, me as the bass player or as like a songwriter or producer, I would be writing music for people all the time. Different people from Saw Rock Creative Partners. I'll be working with Jay Davy, or I'll be working with,
That's right.
different
Jay
friends around Los
Davey,
Angeles and
Kendrick,
stuff
blah,
like
blah,
that.
blah, yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't really until like I feel like this is kind of how it goes sometimes, until something like it was something drastic in my life that happened that changed the dynamic of how I showed up with what I was doing.
Okay.
And I didn't my first album, it was like, again, it's mostly instrumental too. But like even me singing, all of my friends were used to me being quiet.
Right.
I was always kind of like weird and
Right.
would rather be playing Xbox or drawing. And it was kind of like I wouldn't say that I was a singer.
Right.
hey man, I'm Steven. My name is Thundercat and I'm a singer.
Right.
No, it wasn't that for me. It was like, it wasn't until meeting Flying Lotus and Flying Lotus being like, you should sing. You should sing your music. And I was just so open to it. I didn't know what I was going to say. I didn't know, I didn't know what I was supposed to convey with what I was singing, but I was like, this is a person that I knew cared about me very much and could see things about me that I couldn't necessarily see outright. And being growing up in LA, things pull you in so many different directions. Like, man, you need to, I'll never forget, it was, a person saying to me, as I'm playing a music, and it's like, man, all you need to do is just cover like a jazz standard. And for me, I was like, what? I was like, no, I mean, it's like you grow up because there's a part of you, but like, this is the in-tune musician that we've been doing this our whole lives.
Right.
So there's this part where it's like, yeah, man, this would be great if you just like cover, like, this is cool. And I remember being like, man, I would never say anything like that to you.
Right.
But this was, these are those moments. And so like learning to find my own voice was very like, it was like, I was like it's like a little baby. I didn't know what to do. And so even the first versions of me singing, anytime somebody would hear it, I would hear it. Like we'd be hanging out. Somebody, man, I've been listening to this cat, Thundercat. And I'd be like, that's me. But it'd be like our close friends.
Right.
You're like, no, that's not. I'm like, that's me singing, man. And they're like, this is, and it'd be like, there's no picture on the album.
Right.
And it's like I did a George Duke cover, because that's what spoke to me in some of that person and who I was in that.
Right.
And it took a minute for people to realize that it was like me singing and playing.
Right.
And it was like, it was a lot for me to even lead with that. I was like, hey guys, I'm singing and playing bass. It was like,
why Pee Wee Herman though? Why'd you have to?
Because it was weird for me. It was like, hey guys, check out my new album. Yeah, it was, all kind of. It was weird for my friends to see that.
Yeah,
it wasn't weird for me to see. I remember you bringing the album to the studio that I was working in at the time and playing it for me and Donnie. In the early,
I remember that.
Very early.
I remember
extremely early stages of the record.
Is this the same record with Suddenly
Yes.
You Came Unto Me?
Yeah.
That was my Riley.
Yeah.
When Riley was 2 years old, we gave him his own iPod. That album was on his iPod. He loved that. He could sing that song top to bottom at 2.
That's tight, man. And you gave him an iPod, so it was.
Oh yeah, he had the mini iPod mini.
That's tight.
Yeah, bro. Like these kids will never know, bro.
Yeah.
They'll never know.
Yeah.
Like, you had your music, and that it was separate. It wasn't like somebody controlling it. You just, good, jeez, man.
Absolutely.
So, at some point, you bring the album over to the studio. I'm working there with Donnie.
Yeah.
And this is after, man, when we met, you didn't even have a laptop.
Yeah.
When I met you, you didn't even have a laptop. I remember you being
like
at
a
my
drifter.
house in my living room with Reese and me begging you to get a laptop.
That's how you know it. Like, Can I
was
be any
literally
more of a
begging
stereotype
you.
as a musician? Show up without the compuder.
Begging
Like, let's
you.
write. Like,
Let's go.
It's like I was ready.
I was like, no, you need your own laptop so you can put your own ideas inside of it. And he was like,
God.
word? I was like, yeah, go get one.
He's like, that's crazy.
I remember that.
Wow.
Super vivid. I remember a bunch of other stuff, but that,
Oh my
that one was
God.
a good one.
Oh my God.
And so
Oh man, don't make my nose start bleeding.
Just a
bro.
just a couple
my
years
God.
later,
Oh my God.
just a couple years later, you bring this album to the studio that is about, I'd say each song was about 60% when you brought it for us to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And you were in the middle of writing the song you were in the middle of writing a song, and I remember talking to you with process.
Oh, man.
We talked about the writing of the song and like where to angle it and, and who it should be about and all this cool stuff. And I just really treasure those memories
That's
because
right.
that album.
And we wrote Golden Boy at that studio.
Yeah.
I remember that studio.
Because that album was so special, man. And as far as like what Rob was saying in the intro, it like being a trail of all all your own, being in a way all your own.
Yeah.
Can we just real quick talk about how long you've felt that way? I think a lot of people think that your thing was put together. I think people sometimes see you and think, oh, he chose like a gimmick. You know what I mean? He chose a gimmick and decided to do some, even though he can play his ass off, but like then he chose this.
That's gonna be on my headstone.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like people might have to,
I get that sometimes.
Talk about being
like there's a part of it where it's kind of like I don't think for me, I don't know. Personally, when I look back at what this moment was for me, you know, the beginning of this for me, it's not that it's like there's a lot of this conversation that was like the person who I was then, first of all, like that it's like I can look back at that in bird's eye view. For real now. It's like I was like a raging alcoholic. Like I was always gone, like 70% of the time. I would in the beginning, it felt like I walked through the door backwards. Like I couldn't tell you which way was up. It was like which way is up, like the Richard Pryor movie. I couldn't tell you.
Somebody stole my chicken.
There was no separation of there was no like, bro. By the time my first album came out, I was ether already, bro. I was like, oh my wa mu shinderu.
Don't light a match around.
Yeah, it was just like I was a walking, like I was the Human Torch. And I think that there was no separation. There was no separation. There was no gimmick to it. That's exactly who I was. And I feel like it's never not been that for me. A lot of the time, it's like putting a hat on it. Like that was, I feel like amongst my friends that just knew that it was kind of like this thing where well, of course, you know, and I was none the wiser to it. I was just always like, if it's like there's like this ongoing joke. I still don't own a suit. I still don't own
an actual suit.
I still don't have I literally do not own a like time to get formal because somebody died. Like I'm gonna show up in Rick Owens.
Right.
It's gonna be the sexiest funeral ever. It's like I don't ever feel like that's what that was for me.
Funeral on Mars.
Yeah, it's like this gonna be like, is this a funeral or is this club
3024?
Yeah, like I don't know. Like I just it's never not been. I felt like the person that instilled that. There's a few people that instilled that in me for it to be honestly who you are, and it's between again, Sarah Creative Partners. I mean, it's the house I came from too, mind you. But there's a part where it's like me meeting Shafiq, Omas, and Taz, and meeting Erica. This was the beginnings of that for me. Flying Lotus, like this was the beginnings of understanding who I was. Right. And as me and Flying Lotus started working, and when he told me I should sing, there's a part where it was almost like the Sage of Six Paths, almost like from Naruto. He was like, oh yeah, and also, he's like, if you can't be honest anywhere else, man, you got to be honest in your music. Right. And I remember that stuck with me. Like it was definitely like shooting me out of a cannon because I was like, what am I going to talk about? Jacking off, anime, and cats, and here we are.
And yeah, that's exactly what you're talking about.
Those are your three major song groups.
Absolutely.
It's like just real LA sad boy.
Sometime all in the same song.
Right. She left me, bro. Damn it. I'm going to jack off. I don't know. I don't know. I never looked at it like any other way, I don't think. So that for me, it was never a thing of like, oh, I'm trying to put this on. When I got my first check, like from working on Sa-Ra's album, I just went and bought all the Thundercat shirts off of Hollywood Boulevard so nobody else could have them. And I just would give them to people. And I was like, now I can have a shirt for every day of the year. I still own every Thundercat shirt that they probably don't have any more stock of.
Right.
Yeah. It was like, I remember the person in the store being like, "There's no way you're this crazy," and I was like, "Give me the box of shirts, or I'll,
Right.
The whole
I'll,
box.
right.
Yes,
or
I
I'll
want the
go in-
smalls too.
Yeah, like, yeah. I was like, I was like, man, you never know, because maybe you feel small sometimes. You feel like you want to,
Where'd that come from? The Thundercat, the relationship with you and Thundercat.
the Thundercats.
The Thundercats.
The Thundercats was like, again, illustrator. Growing up, the first iterations of it were me as a kid and like sitting way too close to the TV. And again, your mom's like, "You're gonna go blind." It's like, you better not be worshiping the cats on TV. And I was like, I don't think that's possible. I was just obsessive.
Mm.
So there's a part of me, I was obsessed with it when I was a kid. I was obsessed with He-Man. I was obsessed with the Thundercats.
Me
I was
too.
Silverhawks. I was completely
Silverhawks.
like, you couldn't tell me shit. And it was like,
Yeah.
like there's this again, here's another famous story in the house where it was like, my mom asking me, and this is the point where she felt she got concerned. She was like, "Who's stronger, He-Man or Jesus?" And I was like, I would be like this, "Why would you put me in this position, Mom?" I was like, I mean, I haven't.
Has he summoned the power of Grayskull?
I'm like, I don't know, man.
Or is he just chilling?
How was he drawn? I was like, well, show me, like, where is he? I mean, I didn't see him fight off Skeletor. It's like,
Yeah.
but I mean, here we go. 5-year-old's logic. It's just like, of course, He-Man's stronger than Jesus. And then even 5 years old.
We got
He's
the eye
jacked.
test. We don't have the eye test with Jesus.
Right? It's
He's
like,
jacked.
you ever try to feed a child hot sauce? Like, I don't know. Like, no, no. So it was, for me, it was very visceral. It was more so about the colors. It was more about the illustration. I was always there. I was always analyzing like shapes and colors and stuff like that and characters. But man, I would be not blinking, looking at the TV. And it started there. Obsessive kid about cartoons and illustration. The Thundercats was just like, to this day, they've tried to redo it a few times still too.
Right.
And it's like, I think that it was that type of cartooning and that type of storytelling was really niche to us in the 80s. We were very interested in the Cosmo esoteric, like that was our thing, because they've tried to reintroduce it a few times. And it's been a little bit hard to do that, It's like,
you
because
do a
these new kids don't
voiceover?
give a flopping fuck, huh?
Were you a voice on one of the something?
Yeah, I was a voice on the new Thundercats, and
Yeah.
I also wrote the theme song
Yeah,
for the character.
Right.
Yeah, and I was like, man, these kids are gonna love this. And it was like, all the 30-year-olds love it. No kid gives a fuck about a cat in space. Not like this. Like, not unless it's like real. Like, unless Elon sends like a cat to space and it's like 24 footage, like 24 fed live stream cat in space.
Right.
They don't give a fuck about cats with gold and pyramids, mummies. That was us.
Pyramids and mummies.
Yeah, they don't give a shit.
Feel the
Magic, feel the roar.
The Thundercats on this. Yeah. Wasn't there a guitar shredding solo?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, nice, good, musty acid wash solo. It was great. Mid Frank Gambale. Who was I've never looked who that was, but that solo was killing. That's another thing. Again, here we go. We can go into that conversation of why these cartoons don't, because they don't spend that money on that. They don't
themes.
You wonder why Family Guy was so awesome. Is that composition? We can do this all day.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it started as a kid.
Absolutely.
And then I love these little tie-in moments in like real time in life.
Yeah.
I will never forget the first day seeing Terrace walk around Locke High School.
Word.
I know you remember this You remember this Terrace. Terrace with gold dreads, Vogue sunglasses, some red Pumas, and some red khakis from Santa Monica to Watts. Walking around, ditching. He was ditching. First of all, to ditch at Locke High School, you have to be a demon. Like, it's already bad.
He was just talking about how he skipped school the whole time. All these things are doing this. These interviews are doing this.
If I had to, if I close my eyes and say who was O-Dog in actual real life from Minister Society, it's just like, when you think of O-Dog, what do you think of? I'm like, I keep seeing Terrace with a soprano saxophone. This fool was walking around the quad, soloing, could give a fuck about any test. We in here taking the teacher trying to explain the importance of like science, like if you fail this class and this nigga in the back, you just like, Terrace Martin was Locke High School.
Killing.
And I'll never forget it. I remember I remember I was in band class and I was like, I saw this dude and I was like, it's a real Thundercat.
Right.
I was like, there's more. I was like, hey, you like the Thundercats? It's like, really, Terrace?
Right.
He's like, yeah, man, I still got the toys. I was like, me too. I was like, man, you can't ask another girl, you want to hang out and like play with Thundercat toys. Yeah, no, that's not not at Locke High School.
Nah.
I didn't get jumped, but that would have been jump worthy.
So back then, you go out to Hollywood Boulevard and you're going to buy all the shirts.
Yeah.
And you're getting in a car. Now, when I met you, you had.
Oh God.
Was it a Mercury? What was it? It was a Ford Explorer. What was it?
I thought I was killing the game with my Ford Exploder.
So he had taken a Ford Explorer and taken all the badges off the Ford Explorer where it says Ford, where it has the logo for the car, and replaced them all with Thundercat stickers and badges.
Man, I was like, it's going down. I was like, I have a Thunder tank, and it was the opposite of a tank.
No, that car was gully, man. And ever since I seen you there, I realized that you
like
really
some cannonball run shit.
You really are a car dude. And why don't you talk to us a little bit? Give us some car stories, car memories. Your first car. What was your first car?
I'm a car guy.
What's your first car?
Oh man, the cars.
Yeah, you had a lot of cars, bro.
You know me in cars.
I feel like.
Oh yeah, this guy.
I'm the car guy. You know what I do.
Ask him what kind of engine, and he's ready to talk all day.
All motherfucking
Tell him about that one Mustang. What was the engine?
450K X2L.
That sounds like
L?
That sounds like.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, that sounds like some
The
internet
L series engine.
That sounds like internet coding.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's crazy. But not. But I don't want.
Yeah,
he's here. Let him
don't
talk
embarrass
about
the man.
Let him talk about it.
Let him talk.
He's here.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Come on, Steve.
That's horrible.
So tell us, what was your first car?
My first car.
Yeah.
My first car. I bought the first car I purchased. I remember I was a kid and I got an advance from this record deal that I was a part of, and I bought a Ford Focus Z.
Ooh.
No. Yeah,
those were half cars, right?
Yeah.
That's them little cars. Those motherfuckers would explode when you hit them too.
It's a little baby car.
Was it green?
No, it was black. I was like,
Yeah.
got me a
For the
black
people.
Ford
Yeah,
Explorer.
for the community.
Come
Yeah.
on.
Man,
All
I
right.
crashed that motherfucker like the first day. My dad was like, all right. They were like, you can't drive it until you go do the test and stuff. And I was like, okay. And as I was like, yeah, I got my driver's permit. My dad said, let's drive to the store. That car never came back home. Wrapped around a telephone pole. Immediate, like first day, just pow. It was just like, man, this was how. I was like, well, I should have started like with like a roll bar in the car, or maybe just like, I don't know. I don't know, man.
Okay.
The first car was a Ford Focus Z, ZX3 or something like that. And then they promptly did a recall on them because if you tapped him in the back with a cell phone or dropped a pair of keys, this shit would kill you and your family.
Right.
Shout out to Ford. And I switched it up from the Ford Exploder for another Ford Exploder. And it was the black one.
That was the black Explorer.
That was the black Exploder. And it was like, I thought I was like this. I thought I was lying. I was like, and me and my boy would do stuff. This was back when Fast and Furious came out. So, when Fast and Furious came out, you had all your friends that also died in traffic trying to be Tyrese. Yeah. And then you had the ones that were like, man, I'm gonna put a kick conversion on my car and would just fuck their car up.
Mm-hmm.
That was
because you put the kit on yourself.
Yeah, you and your homeboy will blow your alternator out trying to I want red lights in the pedals and and it's like you have no knowledge, so your friend's like, yeah, I'm gonna look at fuse boxes, and then just fucks your whole shit up. That was me. Right. Daytime, we will never forget. Your Scion worked really great, but my Exploder lived up to its name. And
so dream car.
Dream car?
Yeah. Did you buy?
That was my dream car. I was like, I'm gonna drive a Thunder tank. And the first thing to go were the cylinders. The first thing to go were the cylinders. I quickly realized it was not a Thunder tank, and I was a child in my mind. Yeah, there was no.
Get the A-Team theme going.
Yeah, sound system dimming the headlights. It's like the car shuts off. If it's,
the sound system makes the lights go dim.
Oh yeah.
What do you drive now?
What do I drive now? I have what is it? I love this car. This is my baby. What is that? Audi R8.
Audi R8.
I don't care. Like everybody, it's a at this point now, it is a collector's and a classic. But it's also it's the V10, and it's like for me, it was like I fell in love with that car again. I'm a Marvel nerd. I did like the R8, but it was one of those things when as soon as I saw Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man slide through with the R8, I was like this. I was like, noted. I was like,
did you hear strings in the background?
Oh my gosh, bro! It was like, he's like, this is the famous line in the movie. He was like, I'll be there in 15 minutes. And I was like, not in Los Angeles. I was,
maybe so.
Maybe in that car.
In that car, maybe in 15 minutes.
Right.
And I was like, man, when I get some money, I'm getting the Iron Man car.
Kill it.
And there you go. That's my baby.
Kill it. I think this is a good time for a little accidental genius.
Oh Lord.
So, well,
how do you want
to? Let's do the song first.
Okay.
If you want, you can add bass to this later. Accidental genius, tell me what happened now. Something went wrong and then it went right, and we want to know what it is, what it is, or whatever happened.
Ooh, that was
yeah.
I like that tempo.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
I like that tempo. That was real
you
saucy.
Throw something on it for sure. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
basically, something that happened either in a song or a session, a record that started off wrong but ended up right somehow.
I remember. Okay, there is one that comes to mind. It was what is it? Me and Flying Lotus working on Cosmogramma.
Mhm.
It was a song called "Dance of the Pseudo Nymph," and it's very rare. It's moments that happen because there's some moments like in playing where if somebody does something that's like a bit over the bar or like a odd bar phrase, it may take a second to pick up but this had gone way beyond those incomprehensive moments where you're like, hold on, keep playing it. I'm gonna pick it up. Give me a second. Me and him, I'll never forget recording it because there's this phase of me and Lotus where we would just be sitting there staring at the screen, pressing space bar, going all over the place. We'd be doing 10 songs at once, all kind of stuff.
Right.
And so this song, as it's being formed, it's like you could hear the song. It starts with the percussion. It's just a shaker that's going on. In my mind, it was on 2 and 4.
Right.
And I was like this. I was like, and we would never question each other's authority. We would be like, I'm like, and I said this earlier. It was kind of like Prince and Morris Day. It's like, what's the password? And he'd be like, you got it. What? And you're like, yeah, that's it. What? Yeah,
Who's
the
on first?
password.
Right.
This was that moment. This was us sitting there, and I remember being like, I know where you're going with this. Yeah. And I start playing, and we're recording the song. So there would be moments where I would just take certain things for a second, and then I would be like, okay. And then I would want you to be like, let's add some layers or something. Let's add something to it. And so as I'm adding stuff, it's like this weird stop and go that's happening where he starts. Okay, and I'm like, okay, cool, and we look up as we're recording. I'm like this, like if you could stopping the song, and he's looking at me like, yeah, no, I just need you to, I line it up. And I'm like, okay. I didn't all of a sudden lose this isn't the sixth man. I didn't.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And we get through the song, but there's no like conversation of any part of it. We were just like, parent, like whatever. And then we went I remember we were playing Cosmogramma live, and we are going over the song. And as soon as I think Chris
he counted it off.
It counted off. It was, but this is like maybe within a year later, 2 years later,
Right.
we finally playing a live version of the song. And, you know, I think it was Chris playing too.
Okay.
He counted off, and I start, and Lotus would be like, it's me, Miguel, Lotus, Chris. Okay, now Lotus said, hey, no, okay, wait, start it over. And I'll be like, all right. And I'll be like, he'd be like, what are you doing, man? And I'd be like, well, what are you doing? Why do you keep stopping the fucking song? I start it over again.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. I was like, in my mind, I wasn't drunk just yet, but I was like this. This is what we didn't address when we were working. Where are you counting one at?
Right.
And he's like singing it, and I'm like this. I almost pass out because I couldn't even. The timing I was like, what? I was like, sing that to me again, sir.
One more time, please.
I was like, slow down.
Right.
I was like, I felt this was like some I can take. I wrote the song. I was like, what the hell are you? What the fuck are we playing? I was like, hold on. And so then I'm playing. Well, this is what I'm hearing. He was like, how? How are you hearing that? And I was like, this is either proof that we are both from another planet with this shit. Because that's the level of communication that is clearly not ours. Because how do we get through this whole song on two different ones?
And Chris is like, so.
Yeah, Chris is like, y'all suck. I'm like,
are we gonna?
You already know he's just heckling. He's like, so y'all don't know how to count.
So y'all basically saying that y'all both suck.
Right. I'm like, it's like, man, Chris, please. It's like, and we literally, it was this look. It was this stand. It was like this. It was like some Nacho Libre shit. We were like this. I'm not a child. I'm not a child. I am not a child. Start the song over again. And to this day, I like every time I'm in the car doing the like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Where I'm like, how the fuck?
That's great. Me and Chris do it all the time though.
Yeah, you'd be like 1
we'll
and 2
record
and 3.
something, and afterwards he'll be like, 1 is here. I'd be like, no, 1 is here.
Yeah, like stop choosing violence with me.
We do it all. Me, Chris, Derek, we'll be on 3 different things, but it
1
ends
and
up,
2 and 3 and 4. That's why I hate. See, that's why I didn't even want to try to come over here. 1 and 2 and 3.
Oh man, absolutely.
That moment for me psychologically lives on. It's like I chuckle every time I hear the song because I'm just like, how did we get this whole song? I'm like this. And then there's this moment where he starts bending and stretching time in it, and I really just like, that makes me want to drive my car off the LA River. Just, as soon as he starts turning up, I'm like this. I was already lost. There's a few songs listening to Miles Okazaki sometimes, or like Dan Weiss, or like you like this. This was like, how did we even we both speak like the King's English.
Yeah.
How did this happen?
Yeah.
But that moment sticks with me.
Dude, do you remember that moment? I think it's a 2-part. Where me and you were at, I forget what festival were we at? And David Blaine walked up on us.
Okay, so I need you to touch one, but don't look at it. Just touch one, don't look.
Man.
And I'm a David Blaine fanatic. I have all his DVDs. I used to watch all his DVDs.
Oh.
Was that the
It was
Afropunk.
Afropunk. Was it the first Afropunk?
Might have been his early.
I think it was the first or second Afropunk.
And me and you were sitting there talking, he just rolled up on us like pick a card.
Which one? This one? Yep. This one. Yes. What is it? Yes. 6 of 9. Yo! Here, watch.
Oh my gosh. Was this me wearing no, I wasn't wearing the Power Ranger outfit. I think I changed clothes. Yeah, because we both were like sauced.
Oh man.
And he started doing tricks. And I got so scared. I got so paranoid. Like Rob, I was chilling. Yeah. But I'll never forget that because it was like, look under your watch.
Yeah.
Hold the rest. Look, I'm gonna rip this little piece off. Look. No. If you in the back, I ripped a little piece off, right?
Right.
Look, my hand. Traveled through time. What? Flew through the air, and it landed under your watch. Look.
And it was like, don't you ever touch my wrist again without me knowing. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like,
black people have some different reactions to magic.
Oh man, no,
We have some different reactions to magic.
He was like, call your mom, tell her to lift up her couch cushion.
Right.
Like, wait, what?
yeah, the trust issues run deep. It's like generational trust issues.
Literally.
And this motherfucker over here touching you without you looking. I wish I could remember what we were drinking. We had to be drinking boat gas.
It was something.
some straight bullshit.
Hold on. Make sure it fits. Make sure it fits.
Hold on.
Make sure it fits.
Turn it over.
Flip it. Holy. Yo, we saw this. Yo, we looked right at it. We looked right at it.
Never forget, bro.
I will never forget. I'm a believer.
That just happened.
I'm a fucking believer.
That was crazy.
Yo, niggas was mixing like Sambuca and
that
like
96 octane with Tech
yeah,
Ron.
like white wine and like rose. What's the Carlo Rossi and like gin, mixing the mustiest of alcohols. And here he comes like Batman.
Right.
Doing
I remember
tricks.
Then did we go out to eat with him in Lotus? We went to like a sushi restaurant.
I feel like we've partied a couple of times. He definitely scared the shit out of me a couple of times.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, you know, like as you get older, you're like, you just make sure you check your.
He scared the living hell out of me. I was at Lotus' house recording something.
Yeah.
And Lotus had the reality,
The VR reality
the
shit.
VR reality stuff.
Yeah.
So he was like, try it. So I did it. And then I sat down on the couch and he did it.
Yeah.
And it was quiet. His houses looked creepy.
Yeah.
And it was kind of dark a little bit.
Yeah.
And while he's doing it in the silence, I look over and David Blaine just standing in the doorway. Out of the blue.
He's about to do some weird shit.
And I was like, what the fuck? And then he was just like, what's up? I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
how'd you get in?
Man,
I didn't hear nothing.
We love Dave.
Oh,
Man. I
man.
ain't seen him in years, but
Absolutely.
you know, wherever you are,
Absolutely.
thank you for
sure.
creating trust issues that are irreparably hard to.
Are you
I've been in
sure?
therapy ever since that watch trick, bro.
Are you sure? Our producer Hong
Bro,
is,
like,
is
David's
David
like,
Blaine.
I'm right
Reveal
behind
yourself,
you.
David.
This shit is it's just what it is, man. Good times, man. You can't never forget that shit.
Absolutely. What we got, Ja?
Ooh, what we got?
What we got?
I told you what you got.
Uh-oh.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh!
Yeah.
Like this.
What's on your rider?
What's on your rider?
What's on your rider?
What's on your rider, son?
What's on your rider?
What's on your rider? What's
Are
on
you
your
ride
rider?
or die? What's on your rider? Yeah. Is it chips? I don't know. Is it dips? I'm with the flow. Maybe cabbage. Macho Man Randy Savage. I don't know. What's in your rider?
What's on your rider?
What's on your rider?
Rider.
Yeah.
Rider.
Oh my God.
What's on your rider? What's on your rider? What's on your rider? What's on your rider?
The part is this. It's been like this the whole time. Oh my God.
What you eat backstage? Whatever you gonna have for your show right before your stage, and then after the stage, what you gonna snack on after the stage too? These snacks are.
This is insane.
Some Snickers, nigga.
Oh my God.
Eating?
Oh my God.
Healthy snacks. What you got?
Oh man, I definitely need some water. Oh my God, that took a lot of brain power.
It was a lot. I know. I know. The song's coming along. Every time we do it, it's coming
That's
along.
crazy.
It's coming along.
Y'all are in here.
What you be having on your rider, Steve?
Well, I used to have like a plethora of bullets and then like some knives, a
No, shut
couple
up.
brass knuckles.
Did any venues ever give you the
Did they ever
bullets or
give that to
knives?
you?
I've been given a couple of tasers. No, but like there's two versions of this conversation.
That's true. The old
the old Thundercat
Yeah.
versus
Right.
like I would like this is how you know I was on demon time. I would like show up and ask for like Bookers. Like Bookers. Bookers whiskey.
That
Oh.
is
Bookers
the
lowest
lowest
of the-
shelf.
Oh.
that is like a 270 proof. That was like I'd be asking
Destruction.
Like telling somebody to find bookers, it'd be like, man, I had to fight a hobo for this.
Oh shoot!
There was no
Like moonshine?
Yeah, it's destruction.
bookers was like it'd peel the paint off a car.
Oh Lord!
Yeah.
And so I would be like, give me some bookers and like, I don't know, sour, what is it, salt and vinegar chips?
Right.
Mm.
Like maybe like a cinder block. Like,
3 burnt candles.
yeah, like
Right.
like, make sure the smoke machine's going, and like when I come in, just just maybe a little boxing, like maybe wrestle a little bit, like ask for violence. I don't know, like a HDMI cable.
Right.
But that was for me it was like everybody had their drink of choice at one point. For me it was Booker's, and then and now there's like Spirulina.
Mm. Mm.
I feel like
Spirulina is a very healthy item.
I feel like such a nerd, bro.
Delicious.
Oh yeah?
That's the
Have
orange spirulina.
No,
What's spirulina?
See, you
Rob?
thinking about?
What am I thinking about?
No, go ahead. Tell us about it. Tell us about spirulina.
That's not the drink. That's kind of like orangey, kind of like.
That's it. It's like Orangina, but spirulina.
Y'all are-
Orangina is what I'm talking about.
I know. Orangina. See, you
Okay,
said
that's what I meant.
spirulina, and he
That's
thought
what I
about
mean. Leave me alone.
Orangina.
Leave me alone, mommy.
The French orange soft drink.
Okay, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Spirulina is like stuff
That wasn't
makes
the blackest moment ever, Rob. You said spirulina.
spirulina.
Oh boy, that number Sprite.
Pour
That's
that
the
on some
Hawaiian
ice.
joint.
Pour that on some ice. It's
Oh
delicious.
my god. Oh my god.
What's spirulina?
Like I know Spirulina. She used to do my hair.
She
down the street.
Italian.
I know Spirulina.
Down on 9th.
Yeah, like she said, tell her brother I said, hey,
Down on 9th Street.
look.
She's down on 9th.
No, but it's true, man. There was that not too long ago. It would just be me with like a whole bottle of Bookers, and then but I couldn't I could never drink before I play.
Right.
And there was never the best thing I could ever say was like there was no mixing of the playing and alcohol for me. It would always be
After.
play and
Right.
then kill somebody.
Gotcha.
Play,
Gotcha.
burn the club down.
Gotcha. The
It
music was never
no,
a casualty.
second set you may take a swig and then
Yeah.
you hear a little
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, that's one thing I love, that it never connected itself to the playing. But yeah,
That's
like
right.
now I just be like, I feel like it feels like it's more annoying. You guys have blueberries? Like, are these vegan? It's like I told him to get you the vegan ones, and then you're like looking at the back of the pack, and you're like, did anybody read the back of the pack?
Yeah.
And so, am I the asshole, or
Are the
or
blueberries
you the
vegan?
asshole? Because I wouldn't go. Now, do you know what the word vegan means? Plant based?
He said, "Are the blueberries vegan?
Like, are these
Are these meat blueberries?
right? Are these? Where did you get these?
Where were these grown? 'Cause-
I just
Yeah.
would like to see where you got them.
Absolutely.
You know,
Where did they go to school?
I feel like I feel like such an ass, bro. Because and don't you be surprised, like the part where sometimes I think people get it wrong on purpose. It's like, how did you find the one olive tapenade with egg in it?
How did you do that?
You got to be a real asshole
You're a magician.
to find olive tapenade with egg in it.
That
It's
is crazy. I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, like it's some real, like you want me to,
I don't even know what olive tapenade is. What's that?
It's just chopped up olives.
it's fantastic.
Oh, that's
spread,
what you call it.
yeah.
It's the spread.
You've been
yeah,
eating it
The
this whole
spread.
time.
Don't know the name of it, but
It's
I've
a
definitely
chopped
had
up
it.
olive
Olive
spread. Delicious.
Tapenade
Yes.
is quite fantastic.
Mm.
No,
Mm.
yeah, no, but I like to. I mean, I try to keep it simple because and then it's the I'll just be working on trying to make the right decisions with the food choices and
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
I've had people along the way that would encourage me to do it. Like Erica,
Yeah.
or like Brooke DeLoe. His father was like, he owns Stuff I Eat, and he would me like I would, I didn't take it serious until like when one of those crazy moments in your life happens where you get left with the choices.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make this choice or make this choice.
Absolutely.
This is the moment you've been. So what are you gonna do? And that until those moments show up, they do. You only can address them when they show up.
Yeah.
But I remember earlier on, I would have Brooke's dad used to live off of 60th, off of Crenshaw,
Mhm.
and that's where the 60s start.
Mm.
It's straight gangbanging.
Mhm.
And his dad always was on some health, vegan, get your body right. Get your body right, you get your mind right, yada, yada, yada. And me hanging out with Brooke, Brooke was always like he always had that too. He was like, his dad instilled that in him and his mom. Like, eat right, eat the right stuff, make better choices. You ain't gotta eat this bullshit. And I would show up at Brooks' dad's house with some straight bullshit. I'd be like, let me get 2 vats of barbecue sauce. And just like, coat the outside with rice, put the potato chips on the inside, extra chicken. Just, dip it in the Snickers.
Right.
Smash that, smush it, cut it in half, put bologna around it.
Smack it up, flip it, rub it down.
I just,
right.
Refried, reheated. And Brooks' dad, we would be hanging out, and Brooks' dad would be like, you can't bring that shit in my house. And I'd be like, so he was like, yeah, you go ahead. You stand out on 60th and eat that musty ass burrito.
Right.
And it was one of those, and I remember it was funny. It was kind of funny, but it was also not like, because I never forget, I went to go eat the burrito outside. It was immediately, hey, cuz. I was like, ooh. So I'm gonna just throw the burrito away.
Like, you know what? I'm full.
Yeah, like I don't even want this burrito.
Really
Fuck this shit.
One will kill me slowly, the other will kill me slowly.
Yeah, I was like, make a choice.
Absolutely.
I was like, yeah, I'll throw the burrito away. But
I ain't even hungry like that, really.
Yeah, like,
I wasn't even thinking about eating, really.
Right, like I'm supposed to be fasting.
Yeah.
But that was, so from Brooks' dad to like, again, meeting like, Shafiq, Taz, and Omas and Erica. Yeah. And I feel like Erica played a very realistic role in my development as who I am.
Yeah.
And she taught me the way. She genuinely taught me, like, choose this, take this instead of this. She would kind of show me the option. And it wasn't later until there was one other girlfriend that I had that told me or introduced me to the concept of take the option. Mm. And I remember I took it, I would take it as your friends would tell you, but you're not taking it serious until you hit that wall.
Yeah.
And I think the one thing that stuck with me as I started rebuilding certain parts of life and stuff like that was that take the option. It's like, take the option stuck with me. And it was kind of like I had to tether myself back into reality with that. And it stuck. It's like I took the notion. I took the lesson. It was like, you can keep making the same choice and it's going to yield itself to the same thing. You make a different choice, see where it takes you. And that's what kind of got me to make better decisions about what I have backstage or like, so anytime I seem like a dork and I'm like, and I would prefer not to have potato chips. Can you have like cucumbers and carrots and maybe some spirulina?
Right.
It's like, it's worth the hassle.
Right.
You got to really that's how I started looking at it. It's like, it's worth the hassle to try to make a better decision.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of choices.
Oh, y'all got another song for this shit?
Mm. Science. Weird
science.
This is great.
To move together at the end.
At the end, should we
choreograph like
the last 2 bars, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
We'll get it.
Crazy.
Yeah, we'll get it.
So this is Weird Science.
Yes.
Choreography.
We are in the future, or we're in the now, whatever you prefer. You can make your spouse, your partner,
like
right in the lab. So you're in the lab, right? You're in the lab. You're going to make your partner. You can imprint 5 albums into their head that will be cornerstones of who they are and what they like. What are those records?
Look at his glasses.
Well, oh man.
5 records and go in their brain.
Go in their brain.
You want some time to think about it?
Because 5 albums.
We'll give you a second.
think we just look at each other maybe at the end of the last week.
Okay.
5
Like,
albums to
do it again.
imprint on my spouse.
Yeah.
Yep.
Robo spouse.
Robo
5
Spouse.
albums.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Robo spouse. 5 albums.
Yep.
Robo spouse. 5 albums. What the fuck? Hold on.
Come on, you got this one.
Robo spouse. 5 albums. What am I about to play? This robot.
You put it
Check
in.
No,
this
it's
out,
going
baby.
in.
Oh, it's just
It's
You're
imprinted
putting
in there.
in her brain.
Yeah.
Those are gonna be the 5 albums that are in the brain, which will then dictate what they like. You know, it'll start their musical,
taste.
their own musical
yeah,
journey.
yeah, their taste.
But that's the, you know,
okay. I mean, there's one that comes to mind out the gate. The Electric Love album is like a Moog concept orchestra album.
Hmm.
You know, it's
Electric Love.
like Electric Love.
Who's the artist?
It's a concept orchestra.
Okay.
That was one of those earlier Moog albums.
Okay.
okay.
It's like another one that comes to mind maybe is I don't know. I feel like you got to put some Parliament in there. But it's like which one? Dr. Frankenstein or
Ooh.
right? Dr. Frankenstein. Like with the right? What's the one with night? Well, yeah, no, that's the one. That's the one.
That's Dr. Frankenstein.
That's
yeah.
Dr. Frankenstein. And with the placebo syndrome, right? That's Dr. Frankenstein. So we got Electric Love, Dr. Frankenstein, Stevie Wonder,
Mm-hmm.
because it's got to be, you got to understand the experience. You got to understand,
Absolutely.
man's experience.
Which Stevie?
Which
album?
Stevie though, huh?
Which album?
It's not the high Stevie, not the I'm high as fuck Stevie. What is it? Not Intervisions. I mean, Intervisions is kind of, but song,
Father Kid Live?
song, but that's the big one though.
That's the big one.
That's the big one.
Plants.
Plant. That's interesting. Is it what's the other one? Talking, but not talking.
Talking book.
Talking, but what?
I forget what songs are on what albums. Too many.
Yeah, it's hard to
hard to remember
all
those.
the time.
So should I just put all Stevie Wonder albums in her head?
Sure, we'll let it go. We'll let it go.
Is it all Stevie?
One of them. A Stevie
let it
album.
go.
Yeah, sure.
It's all
We'll let it
Stevie,
go.
and then like Alexander O'Neal.
Sure.
Like,
That's my shit. I love
Stevie
Alexander.
Wonder, and then like Alex.
He tricked me, by the way. You know, he went in and had to re-sing all his old songs.
That's right, because that's right. That's the only way
lady
he
shit.
can.
Oh,
Yes.
I know this story.
I tried to go there one night, maybe last year.
Yeah.
I'm just in the hotel. I'm like, let me play some Alexander O'Neal.
Yeah,
I put on
If He Were Here Tonight.
If You Were Here Tonight.
that's the one. That's
You
the
Were
one.
Here. Dude, I put that on and I was like,
It
it
sound
ain't
like
really hitting the same.
right. It sound like cigarettes.
Oh, man. Yeah. Then I
He still got the voice. It's just
not so
Mm.
much. Not so much, bro. That,
Hey,
I
man.
looked up there, I was like, oh, it's not the same one. Like, he had
If
to
you was
Had the
here
reissue on the front.
Oh,
tonight,
man. It was pretty cracky. It was cracky. It was cracky.
Ah,
Oh,
if
man.
you was here tonight.
Tonight.
He hit a dance move and do a sigh.
Oh, man.
Look, actually, have you got a chance to see him?
Never.
Look, you got to. There's some things you got to. I feel like there's some things we ain't got to. We ain't. They not here for long.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got the. There's two ones for me that were like. I don't ever have a bucket list. My bucket list. It's got to be written in like Chinese or something.
Yeah.
But I got to see Alexander perform, bro. I was in London at the Jazz Cafe, and it was funny as hell because when you say like sometimes you like when you want to go see something and your friends be like. You want to go see
that?
Alexander
That's what you
O'Neal
wanna
at
go
the
see?
Jazz Cafe?
Mhm.
And then I look at my friends like,
Absolutely.
do you understand? Can't you understand it? Girl, you know how much I care.
Yeah.
It's not the way we planned it. No. If you would only. I'm like this. Look, I was in that audience. Them British people were, like when they looking, they're like this. Okay, he's singing every note. It's like, okay, all right, now. You want to tell me to shut up, but it's one of them things where it's like, that's okay.
yeah.
I think that's Thundercat
I don't
singing,
know if I can tell him
singing
to
every
shut up.
note. He's really enjoying the show.
That is Thundercat.
He's-
Oh yeah, I don't want to tell him to shut
Don't
up.
tell him nothing.
It's
Nothing,
Be
man.
quiet.
Nothing. He's
It
quiet.
was when I say I'm so happy I went and watched Alexander O'Neal perform smoking. He was smoking a Newport.
Woo.
had his little joint flipped up,
Right.
and he was going in.
Oh, the other one. My sunshine.
Oh my God.
My sunshine.
Oh my God, bro. There's too many. There's
Woo.
too many.
Ah,
Too many. The Christmas album.
ah.
Fake is still like, let me tell you something else. Calling the motherfucker fake. That's still one of the dopest songs. Cause you're a fake. Like that's I ain't never heard nobody sing nothing like that on a record. It's been all kind of bitches and hoes since, but calling the nigga fake.
Fake.
Calling the nigga fake in the club. That's another that's an old school diss that there's no rebuttal.
Oh,
You're
no.
phony.
You fake.
At that point, you got to take your glasses off.
Yeah, you like this. Is this nigga speaking to my soul? I am not a bitch. It make you want to fight. But yeah, no, Alexander O'Neal. I don't know. I mean, part of me also, there's,
You got one left.
What is it, Steely Dan Asia?
Mm.
That's a good one, right?
Yeah, sure.
Steely Dan. There's also like, there's a few that come, like I'm off, Wayne Shorter, Soothsayer, there's a couple things that come up, but the Steely Dan Asia,
Sure.
Steely Dan Asia still is one of the most relevant like albums, not just because of how many times, people sample it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Listening to Donald Fagen's writing,
Yeah.
you just go, what the hell was he writing about? And you go, and so is life.
Mhm.
That's, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
putting those two together and being like, oh, okay. I feel like that Steely Dan Asia, you be like this, okay, everything now makes sense. Or like Frank Zappa's like, I don't know. I don't know. There's too many.
So
5 albums, man.
That's all
That's
you
not
get.
I
fair.
know.
There's limited data processing in the future.
Because my bias is going to buck it up.
Limited data processing.
Limited data process.
in the future.
But
you couldn't afford the higher model droid, so
oh my
the one we're
God.
getting you, just only has enough space for 5.
I didn't have enough, like, currency.
I really
17
love that.
megabyte
Yeah.
memory.
17 megabytes.
That's all it's got.
5, right? Like you got 5 albums and they barely play. And it's dang, man. Of course, naturally, I want to say Jocko or but I'm like, I need, and this is going to, is it going to dictate music selection or like functionality?
Wow. I don't.
Am I trying to convey
yeah.
a message to her to convey a message to me? Like, motherfucker, this is what we on. Or is this like, now go forth and find me more, you raggedy bitch? Like, what?
Well, that's why we decided to word this question like this. Because this is a common question. Like,
because is this the album I'm trying to smash to? Is this what I'm smashing the robot to? Or is this?
No.
No.
Because if that's I
it
could give
could
you
be
5
just
albums
kinda-
I can
it's
smash
kinda-
a
it's
robot
just-
to.
it's kind
5 albums to fuck robots to. What else you got? Kraftwerk.
Drew Hill, Michael Franks, Sade. Yeah, that's a whole. I can find 5 albums to fuck a robot to, real quick. The Sonic the Hedgehog soundtrack.
Oh wow, mad rings coming out.
Just
There's mad rings everywhere.
just knocking the coins out of.
A whole room full of rings.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. St. Alfonso's pancake breakfast.
Right.
And
Right.
Mm.
whole podcast getting shut down. Should have invited me. No,
Do you have heavy, like a few heavy bass influences?
a few. Oh, of course.
Like who are some of
Who are
your
my bass
influences?
guys, man?
I know some bass players would love to know that.
Oh man, it's I feel like you learn something from many and
Yeah.
vast.
Yeah.
Like again, Paul Jackson, Anthony Jackson,
Yeah.
Jocko, Marcus,
Yeah.
Stanley,
Yeah.
Miroslav Vitus, Eddie Gomez, Ray Brown. Like it's the list goes on. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
the ones that kind of that like Bob Hurst, freaking like Christian McBride.
Yep.
Again, it's like it's just so it's such a. I mean, it's such a wide book to pull from.
Absolutely.
You know, and in different directions. It's like, you know, there's different places these people have played roles in my development as a musician. The ones that stand out the most clearly are like the Jockos and, you know, of course, in the Stanleys,
Right.
because it was kind of like this was only how we knew to take the instrument even further.
Right.
You know, again, you know, the argument of electric to acoustic, all
Right.
these things, these things were shattered from the, you know, 60s to the 80s.
Yeah.
And these were the guys that were changing that. You
Right.
know, it's like, again, Anthony Jackson is still one of my favorite, hands down. Like Anthony Jackson's like note selection and like and comprehension of like harmony and melodic movement through harmony. Like
Mhm.
I would always hear stories of how he would study songs before he would play them. You know, as of course he's classically trained and stuff like that. And
Oh, he was classically trained.
yes, he was.
Oh, did he play upright too?
I believe so.
Yes, to be
But we
classical.
know him as electric, you know.
Right. Right.
But when you listen to him playing on records, you could hear his ability to hear further than right in front of what was, you know.
Right.
And he would dance around with you in the pop, and then he'd be like, "Actually, motherfucker, here's a sharp 11.
Right.
Here's a flat. Oh, actually, you know, you could also play this from this perspective." And you'd be like, "Man, I would have the note selection like you would never, you know, be like, I would have never thought to do that."
Right.
But it comes from a vast knowledge base of where he came from.
Right.
And also he was like, there's certain musicians that were like kings in my house growing up. You know what I mean? Anthony Jackson being one. Stanley Clarke was like, and it still is, you know, hands down the greatest, if not one of, you know what I mean? Like life changing, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. It's just I could talk about so many. I mean, you know, it's you know, like some of my more recent favorites. Again, I mean, there's a few. Like I've always been a fan of Esperanza.
Mhm.
You know, like
Mhm.
I like again, she is one of a kind.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
there's a young chick that I've paid attention to over the years named Mohini Day.
Mhm.
She's just again a monster of a bass player.
Mhm.
From it's like growing up with guys like Al McKibben and Nedra Wheeler, like that's what I would always be around too,
Mhm.
you know.
Mhm.
And it was like I think for me though, as I kind of aired more on the side of electric, where it's, a lot of the time I would get encouraged to play upright, and my first album I ever recorded was on upright with Kamasi. You know?
Really?
Yeah, the Young Jazz Giants. First album I was playing upright the whole album.
Gotcha.
And it's like even the only formal training I actually had with this, other than growing up with Reggie and Kamasi and everybody, was I went to Coburn at USC under a bassist by the name of Dave Young, and he taught me about French bow and German bow, and it was like I started learning a bit of classical, but at the same time, it was like I'll be going and playing on the weekends with Kamasi and everything. But it was for a couple years of my life, and I just was like, man, this shit's supposed to go further. So anytime somebody would tell me to play upright, it was like a suit for me. Don't tell me to play upright. You play upright, motherfucker. Like, and like, well, turn your bass down. They'd be like, I can't.
Knob's broken.
Yeah, like it's as low as go. Why is it? It's too well. Jocko, didn't nobody say shit to Jocko? It was always, I would argue you down. I'd be like, hey man, hey man,
Right.
if you can swing, you just shut up. And the 1, and the 2, and the 3.
Let's go.
You know what I mean? Like you get to the point, man. You know, however you get to it. So it was like my influence was definitely a bit more electric again.
Right.
You know, like Matthew Garrison, Hadrian Farad,
Yeah,
you know,
Adrian, yeah.
Dominic DiPiazza, you know,
Yeah.
lots of his one name is he has a Egberto Gismonti, not Gismonti. I'm forgetting his name. It's like he has a Giz in his name too.
Gizmo? Singer too? He sings too?
No. He's well, European cat.
Oh no.
Yannick Giswald.
Okay.
There we go.
Mhm.
Just took me a second.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And he teaches a bit too. So it's like it's just a wide variety of bass
Sorry,
players.
Gizmo. Didn't work out. Let's go watch this. Like, no, I almost made the cut.
Oh my God.
I know
Yeah.
Gizmo.
You know,
Yes.
He's like he's hoping.
he's good too. He's good. He's good.
Yeah, he's great.
He's
Great
great.
guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, that's great.
You know, there's the
Yeah.
list goes on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, we got Jahi.
We are at the conclusion here.
And what is that?
We got 7 rapid fire questions for you.
Rapid fire.
So the first answers that you come up with, Those are the answers we want.
Okay. Oh,
All right.
man. Oh,
Here's
All
the
right.
theme song.
Number 1. What's your favorite cereal?
I don't eat cereal.
What makes you happy?
The part where nothing came to mind. Nothing immediately came to mind.
Okay.
Damn.
What makes you sad?
Akira Toriyama passing.
What's your favorite? What's your least favorite word?
Least favorite word?
Yep.
Accountability.
Wow. You could do another job, not in the music business. What do you do?
Another job, not in the music
Yep.
business.
You have a whole
Oh.
other job. It's
Oh,
not
illustrating.
music. What do you do?
Illustrating.
Okay. What kind of porn do you watch?
Wow. Wow. What kind of form do I? Johnny, but saying that with such a straight face. It's Johnny. He was like, answer.
And well, you have an answer. So
Absolutely.
it's not like this isn't one of the ones where you're like, I really don't know.
Oh, no. Anybody that hears the music, we know.
Sounds like this guy's into pregnant chicks.
It's not a bad category.
It's really not. It's actually Johnny. Fuck. Yeah, let's just pregnant.
Okay, that's not bad. And last question is, can I have a loan?
Can you have a loan?
Yeah. I just need like $75K.
What?
Dude, I told you stop asking for money on the show, bro.
What, bro?
What do you mean?
Stop asking for money on the show. I told you.
How do you have that as a rapid fire question, Jahi?
You don't pay me for this.
I know,
But that as a rapid fire question. That as a bro, like.
I mean, even if you don't give me the money, can you co-sign a loan for me?
Oh my God.
Cosigns good.
This is definitely Black Radio.
Cosigns. And on that note, I'm Robert Glasper.
I'm Johnny.
That's Johnny Sundance. And this is Thundercat.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Thank you, bro. Thanks for hanging with us,
Oh
my brother.
God.